Yo, what time is it?
Haha. It's laundry day. Well, let the geek in the pink take a stab at it. If you like the way I'm thinking, baby, wink at it. I may be skinny at times, but I'm fat full of rhymes. Pass me the mic and I'm gonna grab at it. Well, isn't it delicious, crazy way that I'm kissing this, baby? Listen to this, don't wanna miss it while I'm sitting. Sometimes you gotta fit in to get in, but don't ever quit, 'cause soon I'm gonna let you in. Well, see, I don't care what you might think about me. You'll get by without me if you want.
Hello, Jason Mraz. Welcome to Istanbul. It's really great to have you here. How do you feel about it?
I'm honored to be here. Very excited.
Okay, so you're a musician, yogi, keen surfer, and avocado farmer.
Yeah.
So many things to do. What's the key? Planning?
Yeah, planning, definitely. I mean, I spread myself out. You know, when I'm not working on music, I am on the farm, you know, trying to make my soil as strong as it can so they can sequester the carbon and return this earth to its natural balance.
Why avocado?
Well, the avocado was there before I was, so I'm just honoring the trees that were there before me and just keeping them healthy.
Okay, so before I ask about your music and everything, I would like to know your thoughts about Gezi Park, the Occupy Gezi. Do you have any idea what has been going on here last 2 months, and what's your thoughts about it?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I kind of where my last question left off. Honor the trees and try to keep things that were here before me, just keep them as healthy as possible. And that's the way I view the Occupy Gezi movement. When I saw people were rallying to save their precious park in their city, and yet they were being forced to move, I was just really disappointed, really upset by this, and yet excited to see thousands, hundreds of thousands of people turn out across this country to defend not only those people, but defend the trees, defend the environment, because it's only when all of these trees are gone that we realize we cannot eat our money. And I don't think our government and our money makers have the understanding that every single tree on this planet and the natural resources that are here provide us the essentials we need for living. It doesn't seem like it because it's not making us any money right now, these trees, but it's doing miracle work, you know? So I applaud those who stood up bravely and continue to speak up and speak out, because by not saying anything, we're not doing anything for our children and our grandchildren. You know, this is our time.
So tell us about getting a phone call from Alcon, and tell us about the climate reality project. Have you ever thought, like, why am I here in Antarctica with Al Gore?
Yeah. Well, I had the pleasure of going to Antarctica with Al Gore and Richard Branson and a whole team of climatologists and researchers, which was stunning. It looks like a movie set down there. Penguins, lots of ice.
How did you felt when you get the first phone call from Al Gore?
You know, I kind of did a double take on my phone, like, you know, several events throughout my life have just surprised me, and this was one of them, where I just felt like, really, me? Like, of all the people you could ask for help, you're calling me, but that then creates me as someone who has the possibilities and capabilities of actually being of service. And so I like that, you know, and I try to do that in my own life, acknowledge others to be the leaders that they are. And that's really all it takes. So being acknowledged by Al Gore to be a leader definitely, you know, stepped up my game a bit. And one of the things I did in returning from Antarctica was start a tree planting project. So all around the world we'll plant trees to offset our carbon emissions from travel. And as I've gotten into that project, I've learned that also an acre of organic farming is the equivalent to planting a forest of trees. So we're also helping people start urban farms and urban gardens, because the soil is a shadow of its former self. So we are what we eat, and how we tread upon this earth, we're going to go back into it, and the next generation is going to have to rely on this very earth for their survival. So what are we doing today to really help humanity in the long run? You know, so that's kind of what I got out of the Antarctica trip.
So when did you start eat raw food? And tell us about your healthy lifestyle, because it doesn't kind of match with a rock star's life.
Well, yeah, I think the rock star paradigm has shifted. You know, I know a lot more bands that are taking care of themselves because they want to rock into the future. You know, and I actually learned it from the Rolling Stones. I played a couple of gigs with them in 2006, I believe, and I noticed how they were eating healthy, working out right before they went on stage. You know, so by the time they hit the stage, they were pumped up. They had a lot of food energy, and you know, my friends and I were smoking cigarettes and drinking beer, and I thought, this isn't going to work. You know, we're not going to make it into our 60s if we keep doing this. And so I started to change right then and there. And then
When was this?
This was 2006. And then a couple of years later, one of my bandmates found out he had diabetes, and so we took it even a step further, and we just used food as medicine. And it transformed everyone's life. And so we just continued on and choosing whole foods. And of course, this goes back into the climate situation. When I buy food that is grown organically, I'm supporting that farmer that's working harder because he's not using chemicals, and he's doing the better thing because he's not using chemicals. So it all goes together. Everything goes together. Healthy food, healthy planet, healthy mind, healthy heart.
So what's your favorite food then?
My favorite food? Well, I love the avocado because I have lots of them in my backyard. Yeah, we have a lot of avocados. But I love melons, I love fruits. I had the most delicious peach today, grown right here in Turkey. So I love that. That's been my most favorite food to date.
As far as I know, just before we start the interview, your backstage is all eco-friendly and everything is recycled. So is this kind of a harder setup for you than normal?
A harder setup?
Yeah, like,
no,
you know, wanting everything to be eco-friendly and recycled.
No, you know, we ask that everything be as eco-friendly and eco-minded as possible, just in case we go into an area where people don't practice those things. And then at the end of the day, we hope that people see how much cleaner things are, how much more organized they are. Oh, because all of our plastics are divided, our compost is divided. You know, really dividing up our waste is a big, big step in just sustaining life on the planet. And then how we can cut energy costs, et cetera, et cetera. You know, those are important to us. So we just ask that everywhere we go, they participate in this game with us.
Okay, so you don't follow trends, and as far as I know, you don't even have a TV at your home.
Right.
So,
that's probably not a good thing.
No, it's a good thing. So what's your main inspiration for these beautiful songs?
You know, my biggest inspiration is, this sounds crazy, but it's inspiration itself.
Okay.
You know, like whenever I create something, I'm so blown away that it came out, that it's created. Like, you know, an hour ago
it's
I
like
had
given
nothing.
to you?
Yeah, it's definitely, well, you make yourself available to receive, and then it comes through, and you get it. You know, people say, I want to be a writer. Well, sit down and receive the words. And don't make yourself wrong, or write it, when you write it down, don't judge it and say, this is horrible, because you're cutting off the flow. So I love songwriting that you sit down and you just open your mouth, you open your heart, and all of your life experience and all that you've learned just comes kind of pouring through this filter and onto the page. And when you work it, you sculpt it into something. Like, that whole process to me it lights me up. And so when it's done and that high wears off, I want to do it again. You know, and sometimes it's music, like a rhythm, that makes me want to write a song for that rhythm. But sometimes it's for an event, or sometimes it's for a person. You know, or sometimes it's just for me to figure out what the heck is going on.
Which one comes first, music or lyrics?
It's usually both, right around the same time. But I will say music is always like a second before the lyric.
So after playing in cafe houses for so long, have you ever imagined that one day you're going to travel all around the world and even come to Turkey?
No.
And you're still playing at cafe houses when you're available. Is this kind of a payback?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I still play at the coffee shops because it's local. It's easy for me to leave my house, go down to the coffee shop and play some new material and see if anybody likes it. See how I like it coming out of a microphone. It's also a very real environment, whereas when I come out to places like this, I'm so far from home that I just have to cross my fingers and hope that I'm heard.
should let yourself sing. Let me see your hands tonight.